What's going on, everybody? This is Professor Crypto Banana. So I don't have a lot of time. However, I do like the fact that I'm popping out these videos every single day, being consistent with that. So I do not want to drop that streak. Over the weekend, I want to take a lot more time to research Solidly and SolidX, the tokens, because it's very confusing. So I wanted to drop some diagrams, hopefully make a dedicated video for that to help out with that. In terms of what's going on right now, well, you know what? Let's take a look at the charts. Now, keep in mind, everything in this video is not financial advice. This is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. So in yesterday's video, I was discussing about how I have a certain yield strategy. So I have my own bags that are, I'm farming with and getting yield. And based on what I see in the charts, it dictates what I do with my yield. So in this case, I see that we haven't broken this trend line, so I'm not interested in playing anything. No risky bets, no normal blue chips, just nothing. I'm going to stable coins, and I'm going to be waiting until we can break this trend line. Until then, I'm just having fun yield farming and just getting into stables and just waiting, because as time progresses, I don't know how low this will go. I don't know. But eventually, once I see it break the trend line, then I'll say, okay, risk is on. Cool. So taking a look, there is actually different ways on how people make money even though the price is dropping. Say what? Yeah, on KuCoin, I know you can get this. And I'm sure on different trading platforms, you can do what's known as shorting. Is in traditional finance, that is nothing new. It's the concept that you can, let's say, borrow the token and promise to pay it back. But in the meantime, if the token is cheaper when you pay it back, then hey, you made money. So there's a simpler way of how to do it. I know on FTX, you can do, let's say, 3 times the amount to short it, 3 times the amount to do long. So one is to bet 3 times the amount that you have that it's going to go down, actually go down in price, and the other one is going to go, you're betting 3 times the amount that's going to go up. So keep in mind that there are risks to that. There probably are fees. I haven't done it, so there's probably a lot more details. Do your own research on that. I know that they have on FTX, probably on KuCoin as well. But at least by having a coin that represents it, as opposed to like actually shorting and getting liquidated and whatnot, very interesting play. So it's an option. I don't personally do it, but just something to keep in mind. All right, let's look forward. So Liquid Driver, I know that they came out with just the latest thing, 100 Finance. So with 100 Finance, I think it's more of a project out there that's on different blockchains, and then if you promise to lock up the 100 Finance token for, I don't know, 4 years, then you can get boosted rewards on, let's say, stablecoin yield farming. Well, Liquid Driver actually did a partnership with them, and Liquid Driver is in the process of becoming the kingmaker. They want to get as much governance tokens as possible. So if you were to take a look at how much they have of in-spirit tokens, they are probably the biggest holders of just a particular one entity. 36% or something. We could look at the analytics board, but again, I don't have enough time. So they're doing the same thing with 100, and I think it's just the Liquid Driver version of 100 Finance as well. So it's more, you could probably consider it as more of a pairing of equal value, more or less. I mean, sometimes it could lose peg. That's always a risk. But let me move out of the way. Okay. So currently it's at 287%. So probably you could zap it here on Liquid Driver, get those rewards, or could go to Beethoven X and do it there as well. Now, at the same time, probably need to look at 100 Finance, the token itself, and maybe decide whether it's a good price entry or not. Again, not financial advice, can't say yes or no, but it's something to look at, innovation, and if not now, then maybe in the future. I always like the fact that it's the innovation that's happening, and it reminds me of the in-spirit, got the 100 Finance with the governance tokens, and interesting to see what else comes out. Keep in mind, for Beethoven X, right now, up until March 6th, 11 a.m., I think that's probably more maybe time zone specific. Right now for me it's March 4th, 9:30, but there's a snapshot where you can then vote for the gauges, and as a result, certain projects are promising bribes, so it's always great rewards. So if you had FBs for a certain amount of time when the snapshot was taken, hey, you get the bribe. So this is just a reminder, don't forget about that. And then finally, I promised, or I stated that I was going to watch Taiki's video, and I did. And there were a few things that made sense to me. I think a lot of the things that he said I agree with. One thing I was not aware that I did learn was the little amount of revenue that gets generated with the solid tokens. I didn't know it was 0.01%. That's a big game changer, and it's probably more for the long-term side, especially with what's happening with all the prices and whatnot. So, yeah. I didn't know that also Anjay was more of a developer, and he doesn't really care what happens with the projects. He just wants to innovate. I did do a separate tweet where I discussed how, man, on the Fantom ecosystem side, it is just so much innovation that's happening. It is a DeFi playground that's happening over there. So yes, it could be extremely confusing, but the fact that, let's say, there are certain tokens that can get locked up, but then can be sold also as NFTs. Dude, I'm thinking that this is going to be the future, not only on the Fantom blockchain, but on other blockchains. So as of right now, it may seem very confusing, but in the future, it could just be the way of the future for different, blockchains, different projects. So then can carry over those lessons extremely quickly. For example, the tomb forks. Yeah, the tomb forks may get a little bit confusing, but then all of a sudden, when you see one and you understand one, can apply the same lessons on different chains. And maybe people on different chains aren't aware of it, it takes them some time, but I can then step in and be like, yeah, I already know how this goes. Okay, boom, 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 take advantage, capitalize the best that I can if I decide to do so. So in reality, that's all the information I have right now. Wasn't able to do a lot more research, but I will this weekend, hopefully. Wish me luck on the Solidly project, Solidly, Solid X, because I feel that a lot more resources are needed to simplify that. And hey, I love making diagrams and sharing and making things simpler. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Pieces.